You see the Colosseum? 7 wonders of the world. Alright guys, welcome to my vlog about visiting Italy. My first step is Rome, where I went to the Colosseum. I didn't plan before, so I just kind of hopped on a tour that was already there. And then I stopped by the Trevi Fountain, threw my coin in. I found out that the coins actually go to feeding people in a nearby town outside of Rome, so I was okay with that. Then I stopped by the Pantheon. Little tip, the Pantheon is actually free, so if someone is telling you take it to the Pantheon, don't buy it. If you want to take a tour, there's a tour that is ran by the Pantheon, and it's very informative, but you don't have to take one. The Pantheon is one of the most well-kept ancient Roman buildings. They don't really know how it was built. They only really have an idea. It used to be a pagan temple, and they turned it into a Catholic church. The painter Raphael is buried there. Yep, there he is. The next place I wanted to go was the Vatican. The Vatican is actually a different country. The laws of Italy and the laws of the church really didn't align, so the Italian government allowed them to separate themselves, and now they're their own country. To get into the Vatican, it's only 18 euros. So if there are people like outside selling you tickets, they are selling you like skip the line passes, but it's kind of a scam because you really just don't need to skip the line. The lines really aren't that long. And they're selling them for like 75 euros. I almost got, but I was like, no, I'm just going to go walk up there. And they tell you that you can't get in until you pay these prices. So you can. And to get into St. Peter's Basilica, it's free. So here we are at St. Peter's Basilica. As you can tell, it's kind of crazy, just like the opulence in like one area. It's just like, it's insane. The next place I decided to go was Venice. Venice has always been just like on my list of places I've wanted to go. There are no roads in Venice, and it sounds crazy for me saying that because people are like, duh, there's no roads. But like literally there's no roads. People have no cars. They have little footpaths, but people don't even really have bikes. So it was just like a crazy thing to experience. I was like, wow, this is like a different world. There's not really a lot to do in Venice, honestly, except to enjoy being in Venice. So one thing that I recommend is to explore the islands of Venice. And the one I went to was Burano. It is just an amazing city. I stopped and I got food there, kind of spent the afternoon there. It was just this amazing, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was an amazing experience. And I really recommend trying as many islands as you can when you go to Venice and just really exploring.
To the beach, let's go get away. Taking a boat to Torcello. Oh, yeah. Fancy.
So the next island I went to was Torcello. It's just kind of like a small island that you can like hike around and stuff. There's not a lot to do in Torcello, but it's definitely worth going. And when I tell you that there's no roads in Venice, even the hospital is a boat up. I even had to take a boat to my hotel. So today we are in Ercalano, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Italy, and we're gonna go to Pompeii, hopefully. I had a bit of a late start today, mostly because I've been traveling around,
a lot of you don't follow me on Instagram and stuff, but I was in London, I was in Rome, Venice, and now I'm just outside of Naples. And I was like really nervous about like, what am I gonna show on my YouTube channel? But going to Pompeii, I had a bit of a late start today, mostly because I'm just like, I was just exhausted. So we're starting a bit late today, but it's totally fine. And this is like a little beach town outside of Naples. It's such an amazing city. Like, I like traveling and going to see cities and stuff, but I totally enjoy like staying in less touristy places and going to cities that like I just don't know that much about. I feel like you learn so much more about the country and stuff. So we're walking to the train station to go try to go see Pompeii. So you guys are gonna come with me, so let's go. Sorry, I'm kind of like out of breath, but there was like so many hills. I'm so excited to see Pompeii.
So I always take public transit like when I'm traveling anywhere, but if you're taking public transit in near the Amalfi Coast and like that area, like there's not much direction, so don't be disappointed if you get lost, because I definitely did. Going to Pompeii was really like one of the best decisions of my life. I had talked to a few friends when I was living in Paris, and they were like, oh, it's not worth it. But to me, it was just like, it was so amazing. Like, I had learned about this. It had just been like a huge dream of mine to go here. And it just was amazing to see a whole ancient city kind of intact.
Just say like how amazing this is. Like, I'm like kind of a little bit emotional about it, because like, you know, you like watch this stuff and you learn about it on like in like history, and like to be able to come here and like actually see this, like it is so amazing. And just for someone who like didn't really think that traveling was like going to be such a huge part of their lives, like to come here and just to see this, and just like I can't even like, I don't even think the video or the videos or the pictures are gonna, you know, even give justice, because it's just an amazing experience to just be here and to be in this space. It's completely incredible.
So the thing about Pompeii is, yes, there were a lot of year-round residents, but it was also kind of like a vacation, kind of Sodom and Gomorrah kind of place for like rich people, especially rich Roman citizens. So they have a lot of fast food places. They had a lot of brothels inside the city, and you can really see that throughout the layout of the city.
I'm not sure if you can see, but there's like underground areas, so like kind of like under tunnels that like they would walk through. So it's like a very like civilized city. Like, obviously, you know, it's Rome. I mean, it's Italy, but you know, it's to be so old and being so much intact, it's like insane.
Tips for visiting Pompeii is that I definitely would go a little bit later in the day, around 11 or 12, just because so many people start out early and it does get really busy. I went later in the day. I started at like 2, and you really need about a good 2 or 3 hours. The museums and the houses and everything close around 5, and the actual site close around 5:30. So you need that time to like look around. So now we are in one of like the famous brothels that I was talking about. I thought it was funny. The guy was talking about, this is a very loud house.
That was just the house. You saw like the beds were all like brick, and he was like talking about how like people would be like making love and like 4 in a room. Like, I don't know, very Italian tour. I'm not on tour, but I just jumped in, and I'm now not on the tour. So, but it was a cool experience. So that was the house. Was a penis. Apparently there was a street sign, and I have to look it up, I guess, more. But yeah, so there was, the street sign was indicated by a penis, which I find to be very funny. Kind of just like amazed of how like mad massive this city is. I came a bit later, obviously, because I had a later start, so there's not really that many people here. But I recommend coming a bit later, so you don't run into like the massive amounts of people that come here. And I'm coming here in November, so it's not like peak season. I'm just like amazed at how big this city is. It's like obviously a city that was huge, and that amount of people that had to like rush to leave when a volcano was erupting. Like I can see why so many people kind of didn't get out in time. This is the amphitheater where they would do plays and everything else. So obviously it's a lot smaller than the ones in Rome, but still pretty cool. Theater, you know, it's been around forever. It's just the beginning of time. Take that back. This is actually the massive amphitheater. Obviously there's a smaller one there. There's the massive one. It's so cool. So we're gonna go inside and look at it a little bit. The amphitheater, the massive one. Or they would have shows and like other stuff here. It's just like amazing. Obviously it's been like, you know, kept up by like, you know, archaeologists and stuff. It's just amazing just how, even, you know, thinking about a volcano coming here that like it didn't melt all the rocks and stuff. It's quite interesting.
Another tip is that you definitely need good walking shoes. Like, I would go as far as even saying hiking boots or wellies or rain boots, because if it was raining, like when I was there, you really need some good footwear because it's well kept, but it could be better.
All right, guys, so that was my visit to Pompeii. Okay, so about the penis thing, I've just like looked it up. Apparently there's penises all over Pompeii. I only saw one. But, yeah, I gotta, like, look it up more to see, like, what the meaning is and why they have so many penises. But, I mean, obviously, it's not a part of Rome, but, like, ancient Italian people were, like, so into sex. So, like, I'm really not that surprised. Obviously, I stopped by a place near here because I'm gonna go back to my hostel. I'm a bit tired, and then maybe go walk by the water a little later. But, yeah, so that was my experience to Pompeii. And I came all the way from Venice, which is, like, pretty far. It's, like, a 5-hour train ride. Is it worth it? Yes, totally worth it to go to, especially if you're a history nerd like me. I'm speaking kind of quiet because I'm in a restaurant. You know, I'm the only one here, but that's fine. What would I say are some tips? I would say go later in the evening, about 1 or 2 p.m. But the only thing, you need about 2 hours, if not 3 hours, to see everything of Pompeii. The thing is, it's a big city, like, or it was a big city, but, you know, it's just, like, you would need, like, at least 2 hours, the maximum three to, like, see everything, and I would bring a good pair of tennis shoes, or even, like, wellies, or, like, rain boots, or, hiking boots, especially if it's been raining. Like, I'm here like near like the rainy time in Italy, so yeah, like there's like giant bogs or puddles that are like, you know, filling the streets to kind of like hop over it, and it's an ancient city. So yeah, so get here like a little bit later in the evening, just so you don't see like so many people, because there's like there's like so many people that are there. B, wear, you know, shoes that are appropriate. Hiking boots would be, I think, number 1. Number 2 would be running shoes, and number 3 would be like rain boots with like actual traction on them. But yeah, overall it was like an amazing experience. Like, I would recommend it 100%. It was totally worth like all the hassle I had to get here. It was like kind of a shit show just because I had a few issues getting here, but it's totally worth it. Tomorrow I think I'm going to Capri, and then I'm just gonna go back home to Glasgow. Today is Monday in November, and we are trying to go to Capri Island, but I'm starting a bit earlier today, so I got up. I'm feeling a lot better. We're trying to go to Capri Island. So I'm staying outside of Naples. I'm not really in Naples. So usually there's a ferry that goes directly there from like where I'm staying in Ercalano, but because it's winter and there's not that many people, you have to go to a different port. So I could have gone to Naples to take the ferry, but I decided to, you can see the cool graffiti, but I decided to go to Sorrento and take the ferry from there. Apparently Sorrento, I think Sorrento is the place I've wanted to go. It seems to be a really cool city. I don't know like how well I'm gonna get there, if I'm gonna be able to explore Sorrento. I really don't know. But we'll see. We're a little bit earlier today, so we have a good amount of time to kind of see things and stuff. I'm gonna see where the port is to get to Capri, and we'll see. You guys are gonna come along with me. Yeah, it's just kind of, okay, so I think like what people need to know is that like taking the trains like in the like Amalfi Coast and like in like these areas is like the trains don't say where they're going. There's no list, there's no itinerary, and you don't know until the train like comes and you see the little thing that says Sorrento or Naples. So yeah, we're gonna go do that, and you guys are gonna come with me, so let's go.
So I just want to say I'm sorry if like some of the voiceovers is kind of reiterating what was saying in the videos, but that's just how I am. I repeat myself. So the next place I go is Capri. I really didn't plan to go to Capri. Like, I didn't even know how to get there. I just kind of knew I kind of wanted to get there. So I actually went to Sorrento, and I took a ferry from there. So I actually got there pretty late. I thought I had started earlier, but I guess you need to start at like 8 a.m. to get all the way there. And the tours for going around the city or going around the island were closed. But I met this nice Italian couple, and they were like, we're just going to buy the whole boat. And they allowed me to get on. I paid 20 euros, and they just kind of like allowed me to get on their private tour. And yeah, that's how I got on the boat to go around Capri. It really is worth it, that little tour. I didn't get to see the Blue Grotto, but to see basically around the whole island was amazing. So I definitely would recommend doing the island tour that is offered to you as soon as you get off the ferry. Next time I go, and I'm 100% going back, but next time I go, I won't just do a day trip there. I'll stay there like a day or two just to really enjoy being in Capri because it's beautiful.
So we made it to Capri. It's just such a trek, and I guess you have to like start earlier, and I'm just like not an early person, but I managed to do all this stuff. So now we're in the cable car, and we're gonna go up to the center. And I don't know what we're gonna do there. We'll see what's up there. As I was saying, this trip has been like so interesting because you don't even really know. Like, would I do it again? Absolutely. But it's just like a crazy thing. It's like, oh, you have to take a cable car, and you have to take a boat, and then you have to take a ferry. It's just like it's like trying to get to the end of the world. As you can tell, it's very quiet. As you can see, so like I'm traveling in November, so there's a good amount of tourists, but not as many as you would have in like December or something. And like most of the islands, like in Venice, if you go to Burano or Burano or Torcello or something, like the tourists leave around 5 or earlier. So the locals pretty much stay like past that time. And then the restaurants are obviously going to be closed until about 7. And then they'll reopen. And then you'll get restaurants around that time. But so I'm here at the top of Capri. There's, I'm not going to say there's not a lot to do with Capri, but it's like, you know, being in the south of France or any place like that, you really just... Ciao. you really just have to like enjoy just being in the space, and I think that's pretty much what it is. And it's really just a lovely city to walk around. The only thing is, I can actually go back to either Napoli or Sorrento, but because things aren't going to open until about 7, and the last boat is at 8 to Napoli, I'm thinking of taking the boat back to Sorrento and getting food there, and then heading back to Ercalano. So that's what I'm planning to do. With saying that, I don't want to walk, my arm's getting tired. I don't want to walk too far down the hill because this is basically a volcano. So yeah, so that was my trip to Capri. It was an amazing time. If you ever come to Italy or Naples, I don't know, I didn't really go to Naples that much. I was more so outside of Naples. So if you are in this area, definitely stop by Capri. And yeah, this is kind of just like an exciting scratching the surface of all the traveling I plan on doing. So if you like this video, you like my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because I will be making more. I'm gonna go grab a beer and chill out, and then maybe take the cable car again. So we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.